Okay, so we're here with Arash. How are you, Arash?
Hello, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. And yeah, what have you brought to the NAMM show?
So this is Astral. This is a software synthesizer that is based on probability. So what it does, it's that you uh, load your own sample into this thing. It takes the sample and it will sequence it for you in a probabilistic way, and you decide what those probabilities should be. So here, as you can see, there are different probability functions for different sound parameters. For instance, here I have a probability function that's been automated, and it controls the azimuth of this sound, meaning going to the left to right, just to be simple.
Excellent.
Here you can see another probability surface that's not moving, but you can automate it in any way that you want. And as you can see, the frequencies that are derived out of that probability function are happening on a continuous frequency space. So you don't have to have this note or that note. You can be in between the notes on a totally continuous space.
Excellent.
And for instance, what you've been listening to, it all came out of a water sound, a 9-second splashy sound.
Can we have a look at the waveform?
It was a water sound, like a liquid sound, and this process has turned that liquid sound into a three-dimensional ambient unified random process.
Great.
So that's the basic idea.
Excellent.
But you don't have to, I mean, you can do all genres of music with this thing. Ambient is only one way to go. You can do trance music, you can do all kinds of spectralist ideas in this software. It's a completely new way of thinking about sound. And
so once you load a sample into it, once you load a sound into it, where do you go from there? Can you show loading a sample?
So yes, I can show you like how to load a sample into this thing. And all right, so I'm just gonna go to my mixer. I'm gonna hit new to have a new session. Then you can basically hit the plus button here, and I'm gonna go ahead and find a sample that we can use. Let's say I'm gonna find a speech voice.
Excellent.
Let's say, what about this? Let's hear it.
Pressure was 1,014.1 millibars. XL Federal.
Not very appropriate.
Is the gift ready?
No.
Good. Now, where is he?
No.
Pine Meadows, Equator. Die Geschichte von Cloaky. Sei auch.
Okay, let's choose this one. So now I have it loaded into the software. It's about 8 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and connect. Every one of these columns is a filter group. So I'm just gonna connect this filter group to my input that I just loaded. And I simply hit play, and then I'm gonna play around with it to find a good texture out of that thing. So I'll just hit play. And so this is what we have. So it's a little bit muddy. I'm gonna first of all bring up the frequencies. So here we have a probability function for the cutoff frequencies of the filters. I just moved it a little bit. And then we have this impulse response panel. Here I can apply some effects to it, and so I'm just going to turn on spectral inversion. that turns my low pass into high pass. It's not beginning to sound interesting. And this is a, you can also, if I compress my impulse response a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit, yeah, now you start to begin to hear pitch coming out of that speech. And just like that, you have made a unique sound texture out of the input that you loaded into this thing. And if I spend 10 more minutes on it, then I can make some music out of it. It's very easy to use, becomes intuitive after half an hour of usage.
Great. And how did you design this? And is it standalone or is it a VST? How does it work?
No, this is a standalone software. Honestly, I think it's too big to be a plugin because it has about 30,000 parameters and 7 different panels when you open it.
30,000?
30,000
Wow.
parameters, and
Okay.
it can be more if you add things to it. You can add things to it. Basically, the difference between this and a traditional filter is that here you actually, as I just showed you, you can control the impulse response in any way that you want. In classical filtering, you don't even see that. But here you can actually have all kinds of mathematical functions that you could choose from. And then you can apply effects to them. You can apply FM, you can apply AM. So you create your, and these are harmonics that you can add to your impulse response. The length of your impulse response can go all the way up to 2 seconds. And so comparing to classical filtering, in classical filtering you would never hear the impulse response itself because it's too short.
Yeah.
And so, but here you have the freedom of making it longer, and you can start to hear the impulse response itself. So what we have here is basically a fast convolution. It's a probabilistic fast convolution synthesizer. It takes the input that you load into it, and it sequences that input for you. If the input is long, they will overlap, and then you'll get very interesting sound textures and very unique things out of this thing.
I think it is a very unique piece of software.
I appreciate that.
Is it available now? Is it available now, and how
Yes.
much is it?
It is available for free download on raindigit.com, and then you can use the software for 20 days for free. After that, you will need to purchase it. It is $279, the one-time payment, and then you will get free upgrades as well. If you use the promotion code NAMM 2023, then you can obtain a 25% discount. That would bring down the price to about $210.
Wow, that looks fantastic, man. Well, thank you so much for
My
showing us.
pleasure.
Arash.
Thank you.